Okay, let's start with the SS Raizel here. So he's a tanker. So he is he deals good damage, but he doesn't deal like crazy amount of damage. So his job is to tank for the team and buff the team. So let's take a look at the chain 1 here. Attacks to opponent with 120% attack, consumes 10% of remaining HP to inflict additional damage equal to 150% of the consumed HP. Okay, I just really hate their translation and description, man. It just makes things so confusing. Basically, first thing he's going to do is attacks 2 opponents with 120% attack. So that's part 1. So part 2 is he's going to use 10% off his current life. Doesn't matter what his life is, full or not. That 10%, and then you're going to do the second part of the damage times. So the 10%, 10% health that is consumed is going to times 150% damage. So it's going to basically 2 attack in 1. Okay, so chain 2 here is attacks all opponents with 105% attack and makes that unrecoverable with 90% probability for 2 turns. So I'm telling you, this move is so broken, and he is rated SSS in Arena, and this is why chain 2 makes the reason why. Okay. And third is consume 10% of remaining HP to inflict additional damage equal to 200% of the consumed HP. Okay. So first part, same thing. Part 1, attacks all opponents. Now is the AoE instead of just attacking 2 heroes here, if you can see the difference. But you deal less damage, which is okay. Because now you have, and this is of course level 5, and makes them unrecoverable with 90% probability. Unrecoverable means they cannot heal. So if you deal this attack first, when you play Arena, and now you think of it, like it's pretty much guarantee kill if you fight against Phoenix, because Phoenix recovers HP, right? So if you have this, even if you don't have enough debuff, the Phoenix is not going to heal. And then next, the second part is consume 10%, same thing as the part 1, but except you deal 200% rather than just 150%. So chain 2 itself is already going to carry everything. Okay, so next we have chain 3 black hole here. Attacks all opponents with 120% attack and consume 15% of the remaining HP to inflict additional damage equals to 250% of the consumed HP. Okay, let's understand part 1 first. So part 1 is a stronger version of, it's a combine of chain 1 and 2 without the unrecoverable debuff there. But now you actually take more HP though. You take 15% of your health, but you deal 250%. Okay, so next is a mix all of allies. Next attacks to be absolute attack, which ignores. Basically, you'll give them this buff and they'll ignore the damage deflection and debuff resist. So if you have someone like, I use Endorsey myself. I don't know if you guys know about Endorsey. Endorsey does stun. So if I were to use chain 3, and Endorsey is a chain 2. So usually having 2 chain 3, it's kind of rare, unless you save all your cards and your mana, right? But using 1 chain 3 and chain 2 is very common. So if I use him, black hole, blah blah blah, so buffs the ally with ignores 40% default resist, and Endorsey ignores their resist. So basically the stun will, her chain 2 is a stun, so chain 2 is gonna most likely proc most of the time, and after stun, and then now you basically get a free attack, and then you can just keep going. Especially with like chain 2 here, again, I can already imagine I do chain 3 or chain 2 first, and they can't heal, and then you use Endorsey to stun, and then it's all yours. Then you have other units that can back you up. Okay, well, still have to explore, have to actually use him to find out, but he is definitely really, really good. He's probably, I think he's the best among all of them, but we'll keep going with other heroes. And like you can see, breaking the seal here, 25% HP boost, 10% defense boost, 15% damage deflection boost. So I'm going to quickly just let you guys know what you guys should build on. So you want to get HP. HP is all he wants. Don't worry about too much about attack. Attack is good, but HP is all you want. And because the first part, if it doesn't hit really hard, that's fine, because your HP is going to make it up for it because you're a tanker. And now your HP is going to deal a lot of damage in the second part of all his attacks. And then 15% damage deflection, so that is whatever. So 10% defense boost is not like crazy good, but it's, yeah, so HP and defense. Okay, so passive 2 here, becomes invincible 1 turn when HP falls below 25% and recovers up to 50%. Like, come on, that's crazy good in Arena. All opponents are inflicted with damage of Unleashed Raizel's 10% of maximum HP, and their speed decreases by 100 for 2 turns. Okay, let's understand this again. So he'll be invincible if he's below 25%. So when he's about to die pretty much, and then he'll recover up to 50%. So he's about to die, and then he is invincible. Nothing can hit him, and then he's going to recover his HP to half. And then all opponents will take 10% of his maximum HP attack damage, and their speed will be decreased by 100 for 2 turns. Okay, so even when he's about to die, he's going to do something to the opponent. So again, Arena, I feel like this is really broken. Okay, let's look at the special. He has a special, so you already know a hero with a special is usually pretty good. Consumes 10%, same thing. Attack all the opponents with the highest HP with 100% of the consumed HP, and boosts all the other allies attacked by 50%. I don't know why they keep repeating consume HP, consume HP. Okay, whatever. So pretty much like chain 3 there, but at the end you buff everyone's attack by 50% rather than other stuff. So if you have him, you have other DPS, use one special, the rest can deal 50% more damage. So I think this hero is really good for Arena for sure, and for FM bosses I think he will make things much easier. Okay, Seira here, now she's opposite. She's a debuffer. She makes an opponent weaker, so she inflicts bleeds, and then she also decreases their attack when it comes to chain 3. So pretty much she needs to crit. If he crits with her passive 2, she's gonna deal bleed on the opponent, and when there's bleed already, when they're already bleeding opponent, that's when she can do optimal damage, because on top of that, on top of her regular attack, she's gonna apply bleed, and then she'll also, if it's bleeding already, she's gonna attack additional damage. That's pretty much it. It's not like crazy good. The good thing is that her special attacks one opponent with the highest maximum HP, and then randomly inflicts up to 4 bleedings on all opponents. So this is really, the special is really good. The rest are like cool, but not like crazy good. And then she is immune to damage for 1 time. So whenever she uses special, she can immune to damage and deal 4 random debuffs, random bleeding, and deals quite a lot of attack, 108%. I can see her pretty good in Phoenix at fan bosses, because Phoenix, now you pretty much guarantee 1 debuff. If you don't have heroes that can do debuff to Phoenix, it's going to keep healing and healing, right? So this is 1 random debuff already. And when it comes to her regular chain 2 is always 2 turns, so you're pretty safe for 2 turns when it comes to debuff against Phoenix. So against Phoenix, I would recommend using her. Arena, I think bleeding is just not that great. I think it's kind of slow because you want to deal a lot of like heavy damage. Okay, now let's take a look at Lunark here. I think she's okay. She's a tanker. She has the highest defense in the game, but her HP is not very high as a tanker, and her attack is pretty low, and her skills are pretty mediocre in my opinion. I can see her only being pretty useful in Arena, but other than that, I don't think so. Because, okay, so first, even though she has a really good defense, but when it comes to like story mode, they just hit hard like a truck, and her health doesn't really make up for it. I mean, the defense doesn't make up for the health. Okay, so her chain 1 is attack 1 opponent with, okay, so she deals a shield for herself. And turn 2 is she's going to taunt, deal attack to front and back row 1 of each, and then taunt, And then taunt means, you know, you make the opponent focus on her. But only 60% probability. So basically, if you're relying on her as a tank and she's the only tank, and if you miss that, you know, because 60% is not 40%. There's 40% missing, right, for the 100%. Then your other units might die if that doesn't proc the taunt. And then, so chain 3 hero attacks the opponent with the highest HP with 265% attack. That does a lot, but then her attack is kind of poor, so it still won't deal crazy amount of damage. So she'll deal more damage when you have whatever your HP is minus that 60%, then that's additional damage. So you want to build her with as much HP as possible. But again, like you can kind of tell it's nothing like crazy important, like not crazy important to clear like story and etc. So I feel like, you know, Kaiser is just so much better. You can, because Kaiser boosts the whole team's defense, and in this case she's just doing it for herself. Passive 2 is pretty good here because I'm accumulated boost of 20% defense when received damage up to 5 times, which means it's okay, but she needs 5 turns to get the 100% defense, accumulated boost of 100% defense. Decrease 30% of the received damage when hit by crit hit. So she can be good against heroes like Crusade Mira, Bam, because they'll deal less crit hit damage. Sorry, deal less damage, 30% less damage when they crit. So, but it's kind of situational. So I think this hero is not like, it's a situational character. You can't use her like universally. So I wouldn't really recommend trying to build her. There's just so many more better tanks out there. Okay, next we have Raskeria here. I don't know how to pronounce it, but honestly, I think she's unique. I don't know if she's good. Her stats, everything is kind of average. She needs an opponent to be debuffed in order to do maximum damage. And chain 2 is if someone is debuffed, she'll recover HP of the additional damage. So whatever the second part of the damage she deals, she's going to recover her HP, and then she's going to inflict 2 bleedings to the opponent for 2 turns with 9% probability at level 5. And then she requires this part here to get passive 2 going. So if the opponent is bleeding, applies accumulated boost of 10% attack up to 50%, creates shields with 10% of HP for 2 turns. So if opponent is bleeding, then she's going to create a shield for 2 turns, and then she's going to heal all allies HP by 50% of the hero's attack 1 time per chain. So whatever attack is here, this is how much she's going to heal the whole, you know, the ally there. So I don't know exactly how much that would be unless I actually use her, but she needs seems like a kind of like a weaker Seira, because she very situational compared to Seira here, and her passive 1, all the boost is kind of okay. It's kind of mediocre because 10% is kind of low, 50% also kind of low when it comes to HP. She doesn't need a lot of HP, she needs a lot of attack. But again, she requires the opponent to have bleeding in order to shine, and in order for her to heal her opponent, her ally. So I don't know. I just feel like she's like a fusion of everything. She's like, not fusion of everything. She's a fusion of attack and support. And I think she's not that good at either of them. Man, some of these heroes have like really confusing description there, man. Anyway, so clan leader Seira here. I'm telling you, Seira is really, really good, and her description is really easy to understand. Like, she is really good against bosses and arena, like really, really good. Okay, so she deals damage, and then she'll boost herself 30% by attack for 2 turns. So attack and boost herself, and I think the most important is that it's ice. As long as it's not like light or chaos, then it's good because we don't have to share the resources. I'm personally very interested in building her. And then she has an AoE damage where she'll deals additional damage, inflicts 30% additional damage to the opponent with the highest attack and the opponent with the highest HP. So on the other team, whoever has the highest HP and the highest attack, so there's one of each, right? There won't be two heroes with the highest HP. Then they take additional damage. On top of that, you have a chance to curse them. So curse is like they cannot heal. So it's really good. And then we have the chain 3 here is if you kill someone with chain 3, you will be immune to damage for 1 turn. So chain 3 is kind of hard to use, but chain 2 is just sounds so broken since it's the AoE, and then now the 2 people probably cannot recover HP. Passive is really good. Usually it's only 3 of these percent, and now there's an additional 40 speed boost. Look at her speed is like way beyond average. Okay, so passive 2 is really broken. Okay, passive 2 that makes her really good against bosses or arena. I even think like story is good because they have so much health. So basically, if you use chain 3, you have a 30% chance to deal a 500% attack. And you won't die when you're at 1% HP, and then becomes immune to damage for 1 time. So you don't die and then you don't take damage. So even though it's 30%, but once you get that, like 500% attack, that's like a lot of damage. So I think for her, using her for fan bosses, the guild war, the lady, what you call the Labyrinth, and Trail Tower, the high level ones, like she's gonna do a lot of damage, and she can. When it comes to Trail Tower, when it goes to the higher level, there's a lot of healing going on. I think the chain 2 will really help. Okay, I'll go over the other characters too. Even though these one, you pretty much, if you summon, you'll most likely get them as well. But I'm telling you, M21, he sucks. He just doesn't deal enough damage, and then he also inflicts bleeding. Then there's no point of using him when there's just so many other characters that can do the same. And I won't go over too much. There's nothing important. And if you want a damage attacker, there's just so many more options out there. He's not worth it. His HP is low, his speed is low, his defense is weak, and of course he's only a S hero, so don't even bother building him. Frankenstein. Okay, Frankenstein is, I think he'll be useful somewhere. He's unique. He's a debuffer, and he can stun. So if a opponent has poison on, and when you use chain 2, you can stun them. And then his passive is like, they'll get poison if they deal a critical attack to you. And I'm telling you that, if you look at stats, it's garbage. It's garbage. If you're hoping to use him in story, I'm telling you it's not going to work. Because you need someone to hit him, critical attack, to inflict poison. But I'm telling you, any high level, they're going to one-shot him. Like, his poison isn't going to do anything. I mean, I think at fan bosses, maybe against whichever, honestly, if you can survive an attack. But if they hit crit, and then, well, okay, if they hit crit, you're gonna inflict poison, right? And then if you use chain 2, now you can stun. Then that's good. But you really pretty much only building him for one occasion, maybe. I'm not too sure. Again, I haven't, I play global. I haven't played any of these heroes. I can't test them because I'm completely free to play. I don't have enough resources. But just based off of these description and my imagination, I just feel like it's just not worth building him for one occasion. Again, like for the fan bosses and stuff. But who knows? Okay, next we have Rozaria. So basically, if you don't have Flame Kun, you can build her. They work pretty much the same. She boosts attack exactly the same as Flame Kun, and then the good thing is that she had, well, don't worry about the second one. It's just not that good. Just make them deal 20% chance of not dealing critical hit. So the chain 3 is pretty good because now attacks all opponents with 120% attack, inflicts a 40% additional damage to the opponent with the highest attack, and silences the opponent for 2 turns. So if you use chain 3, their highest dealing damage hero is going to get silenced, which means they can't do anything. So chain 3 is good, but again, how often can you use chain 3? that's the problem. Okay, so passive 2 is pretty much same as Flamecon, you know, revive a ally with 50% HP and then invincible for 1 turn when the hero is eliminated. That's it. Nothing special, but just a weaker Flamecon. If you do, you know, you want a hero that can revive a ally, I think she can be a good choice. Muzaka, I can see him being very strong in arena because of his chain 3 and passive 2. Chain 1 and 2 is whatever. I'm not going to talk about it. Nothing too important. Chain 3 is you deal a lot of damage to the opponent with the highest HP, and then you deal extra damage with the 35% of your maximum HP. And then thwarts. So I don't have, you know, I'm very bad at pronouncing this. So pretty much prevent or seal them for they're not being able to move. So you deal a lot of damage, and then one opponent cannot move, whichever one you target. And then passive 2 here, passive 2 is also very good because if you have any debuff on Muzaka at the end of the turn, it's going to remove 1 debuff. Let's say if there's 5 debuffs, it's going to remove 1 of them, and then he's going to be immune to damage for 1 time. Okay, it's pretty fake here. 1 time. I don't know if it's every time or just 1 time in a battle. So I assume it's 1 time, every time. Otherwise, like, it's kind of weird just getting him to do that 1 time. So is it the first time or the last time, or can you choose, right? And recovers all allies' HP by 10%. So someone inflicts a debuff on him, so he's going to immune to damage, remove 1 of the debuff, and then heals everyone. So passive 2 and chain 3 is the reason why he's really, really good. But again, might be hard to trigger in PvE, but arena, I think it'll be really, really good. Alright guys, so believe it or not, Raizel here is A rank, but he's probably one of the best among all of these guys. In arena though, the rest probably not very good, but he is a debuffer, a crazy debuffer against opponents. So I'm actually going to go through his skills so you guys will see how good he is. Okay, so attacks 1 opponent in the back row with 115% attack and decreases the opponent's attack by 30% with a 65 probability for 2 turns. Okay, I should correct myself. Even against fan bosses like Phoenix, it's going to be really, really effective. Because only chain 1 too. Now you can have a chance to 65% to reduce opponent's attack. Chain 2, AoE damage deals 110% attack, and whatever debuff is on the opponent, and we're talking AoE. So let's say if there's 4 opponents, and they all have debuff, it's going to extend it for 1 turn. And I don't know why he's A, because this move alone makes him a SS in my opinion. So if you have, I don't know, if you, like, again, I use Endorsey because I use Endorsey. I mean, I'm going to use Endorsey an example again because I use her. Okay, so if I use her stun is the AoE stun. So let's say I got so lucky, I'm going to AoE stun everyone, all 4 of them, and then now I use chain 2, then the stun's going to last 2 turns. And then, I don't know if I can use Endorsey stun again, and luckily I stun them, all of them again, and then I do this again. I don't know if it's going to end, I don't know if that's how it works, but that's how I understand. So if you have something crazy like silence, because there's silence and seal and all those debuff from the Noblesse. So if you use him to extend that, then it's really, really good. So to a point it's broken. Okay, let's look at chain 3. Chain 3 is also very, very good. Attacks all opponents with 110% attack. And silences them for 1 turn. Creates shield for all allies with 40% of HP for 2 turns, okay? So he's gonna attack and then silence them. Okay? It's all opponents. He's gonna silence every single one and dealing attack. And then now you're gonna protect your whole team with a 40% of HP, a shield for 2 turns. Okay, so imagine using chain 3 and then use chain 2. Now they're silenced for 2 turns. And it's AoE, that's what I don't understand why he's A, okay? And it's great because now anyone can have access to him to get him to like 6 stars. So stoops the power, I think, which means stoops the power level of the opponent with the highest attack at the start of the battle to, you know, prevent the attack. So whoever on the other team has the highest attack is going to get their power level reduced, decreased, and at the start of the battle they cannot attack. So basically in the start of the battle, their strongest DPS cannot attack. So from what I understand from this should be, you know, what he is capable of doing. Debuff, silence to stun, weaken, and he can also protect his allies. So very, very good. And I'm going to tell you that he is a must build. Just mainly because now there is this hero level mission here. If you look at this here, if you build him, you get all these stuff. And it's not hard to get him to 6 stars. See, if you build him, you get all these stuff. So there's no reason not to build him. So basically they're giving you a free hero and giving you all these free resources. Because you don't get everything back. Even though you have to invest quite a lot into it when it comes to these fast material. But it's worth it. He's really good. And especially he is ice element. You don't have to share resources. And there's sometimes, I don't know how far you guys are. If you guys are really far, sometimes you'll get like those quests rank at 8. You will need a ice element hero at like 5 stars, I think. So that's perfect. Now you can, because those ones, they give you like, I think 70 something crystals, gems. But anyway, so again, thanks for watching, guys. I hope this kind of helped you guys understand the heroes better. But who is good? I'm telling you, he is good. Clan leader Seira is good. Raizel is good. Muzaka is good. The rest, I think it's whatever. I don't know about her. It feels like she's unique, but I really have to use her myself to understand better. Well, anyways, guys, don't quote me on this or anything, because again, I am a global player. I never played a Korean version. I get some of the information from my research. I get it from a friend who plays in Taiwan, and that's it. So thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. See you guys next time. Bye bye.